very uncomfortable truth about relationships that most people don't like to admit. The women who stay longest in the wrong relationships are not always the weakest. Sometimes they are the most intelligent. And that confuses many people because intelligence is supposed to protect you. Intelligence is supposed to guide you. You're smart, you're brave, you see patterns, you understand behavior, you can read people. So, how do you end up staying in something that is clearly not right? Tonight, we are going to answer that, but not on the surface. We are going deeper because this is not about men. This is about how human mind works when emotion and logic collide. Let me tell you how it usually starts. It doesn't start toxic. It doesn't start confusing. It doesn't start painful. It starts beautiful. It starts with potential. You meet someone, there is a connection. Conversations flow, you feel seen, you feel understood. And then something happens, you start noticing small things. It's inconsistent, it disappears sometimes, it avoids certain conversations, it gives mixed signals, just small things. And this is where intelligence begins to work against you. Because instead of walking away, instead of taking a pause, you start analyzing. Maybe he's been hurt before. Maybe he's not used to something like this. Maybe he just needs time. Maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe it's my past. Maybe I've not healed. And just like that, you have entered the first trap. The phase that I call the interpretation phase. Instead of responding to what is happening, you start interpreting why it's happening. And interpretation creates emotional attachment because now you're not just connected to the person, you're connected to the story you have built about them in your head. And that story will become very important later. But let's go deeper. As time goes on, you invest more. You do more for him. More conversations, more emotions, more patience, more understanding. You just do more for him. And then something subtle happens. You cross a psychological line without even noticing it. You stop evaluating the relationship and start protecting it. And now your mindset shifts. You're no longer asking, is this right for me? You're asking, how can I make this work? And that shift is where many women get stuck for years. Now, let me show you something that will change how you see this forever. Imagine you've been talking to a man for 8 months. In the beginning, it felt amazing, but over time, it became inconsistent. He avoids commitment. He gives just enough attention to keep you there. He avoids hard or tough conversations. And now, logically, you know something is off. Your body can feel it before your brain explains it away. But emotionally, you have already invested. So instead of leaving, instead of taking your things and packing your things and leave, you stay because your brain starts saying things. Your brain starts saying something like, we've already come this far. I understand him. He's not a bad person. Maybe I just need more patience. Maybe my long suffering is not enough. I need to practice the fruit of the Spirit. And that is not love. That is the sunk cost trap. The more you invest in something or in someone, the harder it becomes to walk away. Because living now feels like losing. Living feels like you're going to lose everything you've put into it, into that relationship that you imagined in your head. But here is the truth that no one likes to hear. Time does not justify staying. Time does not justify staying. Time only makes living harder. I'm going to say that again. Time never justifies saying it makes living harder. But the real reason smart women stay goes even deeper than investment. It is not just about time. It is not just about sometimes their investment. It's about something much more powerful. Hope. This four-letter word, hope. Hope is what keeps you checking your phone. Hope is what keeps you answering his messages. Hope is what makes you believe. Hope maybe tomorrow will be different. And you see, this thing called hope can be one of the most dangerous emotional drugs in modern dating, because hope allows you to stay in situationships, in situations that reality would have ended a long time ago. Now, let me ask you something deep. If a relationship requires constant interpretation, constant patience, constant emotional adjustment, is it really a relationship? Or is this something you're trying to turn into one? Here is the part that changes everything. Smart women don't stay because they don't see the problem. They are too smart to not see the problem. They stay because they believe. They believe they can solve the problem. They see the problem, but because they are smart, they think they can solve the problem. And that belief feels powerful, because in every other area of life, being intelligent works. You solve problems, you figure things out, you improve situations, you make things better, you improve situations, you make things better at work, everywhere. But relationships don't work like that, because a relationship is not a puzzle. You cannot solve it alone. It takes two to tango. Relationships are too heavy for one person to carry. Marriage is too heavy for one person to carry. If you have to fix a relationship that you're in alone, it's already broken. So what actually sets people free? Let's talk about what actually sets people free from this cycle. And it's not more understanding, it's not more patience, it's not more effort, it's not more conversations. It's not about you opening up and telling him your mind, how you feel. It's a shift. It's a shift from asking, how can I make this work? To asking, is this even working at all? Is this working for me? Is this even working in the first place? And those two questions change everything. Because the moment you stop trying to fix the relationship and start evaluating it honestly, that is the moment you stop staying too long in something that was never meant to last, or something that ended a long time ago. And that right there is where clarity begins. I'll see you in the next video.